What is creatine? You might be wondering, what exactly is creatine? Well, let's break it down for you in a simple way. Creatine is a supplement that gives your muscles a boost of energy. It helps you push harder during workouts, making you stronger and a bit more powerful. It's like having a turbocharger for your muscles, ready to take your fitness game to the next level. So, if you're looking to supercharge your workouts and unleash your inner beast mode, creatine is your secret weapon. Get ready to dominate, my friend. What is creatine? In addition to being a natural source of energy, creatine also assists in the flexing or contracting of your skeletal muscles. It assists in the production of a constant supply of energy in your muscles, which enables them to continue working, particularly when you're exercising. About 50% of the creatine that your body needs comes from the food that you eat, particularly foods that are high in protein, such as red meat, pork, veal, cattle, that stuff. And that's approximately 1 to 2 grams every day, which is roughly equivalent to the size of 1 to 2 jelly beans. The seafood category includes both fish and shellfish. Milk from animals, like cow, goat, and sheep milk, are also examples of things that you'd find creatine in. Each of your organs, the liver, kidneys, and pancreas, are responsible for the natural production of the other half. When you engage in physical activity, they transmit around 95% of your creatine to your skeletal muscles so that they can be used. Now, what remains is distributed to your heart, your brain, and various other tissues. People who engage in a lot of physical activity who don't consume an adequate amount of creatine in their diet may choose to take creatine supplements. There are two different forms, really, of creatine supplements. You got powder and you got tablets. So, does using creatine pose any health risks? Some studies have shown that taking creatine supplements is absolutely safe for a large number of people. Nevertheless, there isn't enough information to determine whether or not it's safe for you, or everybody, Additionally, creatine may raise the likelihood of manic episodes in people who suffer from bipolar disorder, so if you really want to make sure that taking creatine is safe for you, you should consult a healthcare expert first. So now that we know how we get creatine, where does it go once it gets into our body? In our bodies, these skeletal muscles are responsible for, again, storing around 95% of the creatine that we consume. The muscles that are used in the performance of physical activities or voluntary movement are referred to as skeletal muscles. In and of itself, creatine does not contribute significantly to the function of our skeletal muscles. However, when it is converted to creatine kinase, an enzyme that can convert creatine to phosphocreatine and vice versa, it functions as a little energy storage for our skeletal muscles in the form of adenosine triphosphate, which is much more commonly referred to as ATP. This occurs when we engage in high-intensity exercise. ATP is the first thing that needs to be discussed before we can proceed with the explanation of the process behind phosphocreatine. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and they're responsible for the production of ATP. It's basically the powerhouse of the cell means that ATP creates energy. ATP is a chemical that supplies our cells with energy. Our cells make use of the energy that is generated when adenosine triphosphate, also known as ADP, is produced from the breakdown of adenosine triphosphate. During high-intensity workouts like a squat, a bench press, or a sprint, the muscles that contract during those exercises require instant energy in the form of ATP. These muscles are responsible for the contractions that occur during these exercises. On the other hand, ATP that is produced by our mitochondria is not able to diffuse to the muscle cells that are contracting in a manner that is both efficient and quick enough. When this occurs, the phosphocreatine shuttle mechanism is introduced into the picture. When mitochondrial creatine kinase comes into contact with the ATP that is created from the mitochondria, various things happen. Phosphocreatine was produced by the same enzyme that was responsible for converting creatine, and in order to convert creatine into phosphocreatine, the mitochondrial creatine kinase transfers the high-energy phosphate from the ATP. This process results in the production of adenosine triphosphate. Phosphocreatine is able to more easily diffuse past the mitochondrial membrane and into the cytoplasm, which is the reason why the high-energy phosphate that is produced by ATP gets moved over to phosphocreatine. There is a significant amount of ADP in our cells when we're exercising, and therefore, once phosphocreatine has entered the cytoplasm, we'll come across a creatine kinase that will convert phosphocreatine back into creatine. Additionally, this creatine kinase will transfer the high-energy phosphate to ATP, which will result in the production of ATP. And after that, the ATP will also be utilized by the muscle cells that are contracting, and the creatine will then be returned to the mitochondria. And then this process will be repeated. So how does creatine supplementation impact the process? Consuming creatine will cause an increase in the overall amount of creatine that is present in our biological cells. This will lead to an increase in the amount of creatine that is present in our cells, which will then be transformed into phosphocreatine. During high-intensity exercises, the higher resynthesis of phosphocreatine is beneficial since, it actually enables our contracting muscles to receive an additional burst of energy, which in turn facilitates the benefits that were previously described. In general, taking a creatine supplement is essential because it supplies additional phosphocreatine, which is necessary for the phosphocreatine shuttle system to function properly. Now, there are some health concerns surrounding creatine supplementation, including dehydration, digestive problems, muscle cramping, and kidney damage. But despite the fact that there is significant evidence for the idea that creatine is safe and offers little dangers to one's health, there are a few health concerns regarding creatine supplementation. An essential point to emphasize is that the effects of creatine might vary from person to person, and there's been relatively little study conducted on the subject of its safety and effectiveness. In terms of the most significant health risk, kidney damage, a systematic review of the meta-analysis conducted in 2019 to investigate the effects of creatine supplementation on renal function discovered that creatine supplements do not result in kidney damage. Creatine supplementation, on the other hand, should be avoided by people who have chronic kidney disease. Why use creatine? Creatine supplements are used by a significant number of athletes, both amateur and professional, to enhance their workout regimens to help them recuperate more quickly. Creatine is responsible for providing quick bursts of energy as well as enhanced strength, all of which contribute to an improvement in performance without compromising your ability to exercise for extended periods of time. A lot of athletes who take creatine tablets partake in activities that need extreme power. Among the several creatine supplements, creatine monohydrate is the most widely used. This 19 supplement is designed to improve muscular performance during high-intensity, short-duration resistance workouts. Some examples of these exercises include weightlifting, sprinting, and cycling. It would appear that other types of creatine don't possess similar kinds of advantages. Do not do these things when taking creatine. For the purpose of treating a deficiency or the treatment of a medical condition, your physician may prescribe creatine supplements in certain circumstances. Take supplements only under the supervision of a medical professional and make sure to follow your physician's directions to a T to avoid any potential health issues. Don't overdose on creatine. Whenever you use creatine, make sure to follow the dosage and frequency instructions that your physician has prescribed. The possibility that large quantities of the amino acid could cause damage to the kidneys, heart, and liver is mentioned in Medline Plus. However, research on this topic is, again, currently ongoing. Do not exceed treatment time. Creatine supplements are available without a prescription from a medical professional. Nonetheless, it is important to take only for the amount of time that your doctor suggests. Discomfort in the muscles, diarrhea, weight gain, hypertension, liver and renal problems, and dizziness are some of the side effects that can be avoided by using the medication for a maximum of 6 months. Don't use it when pregnant or breastfeeding. Never take creatine when you're breastfeeding or while you're pregnant. And if you're already pregnant, avoid taking creatine for the entire duration of the pregnancy. Better still, see a doctor. Some studies suggest that individuals who are old, vegans, vegetarians, who may already have a low creatine intake, can improve their ability to reason rapidly and think abstractly by taking creatine supplements. Those who participated in the trials in which they discovered the effect were already lacking in creatine, which is a crucial fact to keep in mind. Although some research still needs to be conducted in order to determine whether or not those who have normal amounts of creatine might experience any of the same cognitive benefits from taking supplements, there is some evidence that creatine can help improve the appearance of aging skin, though. Using a cream that contained creatine on a regular basis for a period of 6 weeks was found to minimize the appearance of wrinkles and skin sagging in men. Additionally, independent research discovered that a cream that had both creatine and folic acid improved the appearance of sun damage and reduced the appearance of wrinkles. So that's about it for today. So I'll see you in another video. Subscribe to our channel to get notifications from the Super Achievers Club.